How you doing, guys? Big Mech School here today, back once again with another Conquest tutorial mission for you. Today, we burn the bomb. This is Conquest tutorial mission 10. It's actually 11, but we'll get to that later. And we have a few new rules in play and a new miniature in play as well. So the new miniature is for the Death Guard, the Foul Blightspawn miniature. I'll put a little spinny video up for you now so you can get a closer look on my paint job and the miniature itself, and a slight head swap conversion as well. Yeah, the miniature is a deadly one, but there's some things wrong with the information we've got in this tutorial mission. The first thing is that his weapon doesn't have a range in the tutorial mission, and I've looked back through the rules where it's telling us about the new rules. His weapon doesn't have a range, and also he is only given one wound in this tutorial mission. I think that's an error, so I'm using basically the number of wounds from the data sheet that we get for him later in the Conquest magazines. Thankfully I've got them all already, so I can just refer to that when there's something missing, and the range of the weapon is 9 inches according to that data sheet as well, giving me the range of the weapon. So there's new rules in play as well as the new miniature, and the first one is variable strength weapons. We also, by this stage, have had a tutorial on how to wound with the strength of a weapon against a model's toughness. So there's a chart we use, and if the target model's toughness is equal, there's a series of things. You wound on 2s if your weapon strength is more than twice the target model's toughness. You wound on 3s if your weapon strength is greater than the target's model's toughness. And on 4s if the target model's toughness is equal to the attack strength. You wound on 5s if the target's model toughness is greater than the strength of the attack, and you wound on 6s if the target model's toughness is twice the strength of the weapon attacking it, or the strength of the attack it's facing. Whoa, that was a lot harder to get through than I thought. I think it's possibly because I'm just doing it off the top of my head rather than referring to the sheet of paper, which is just a few page turns away. Anyway, so we get that new rule. We also get a few new rules in the extra rules section that I like to incorporate for expediency. So what extra rules do we get in the replay extra rules? Well, we get the Unholy Death's Head Grenade, which is once per battle, roll 2d6 attacks with your Blight Grenade instead of 1d6. So it's an extra attacky Blight Grenade, basically. And then we also get Revolting Strength for the Foul Blightspawn. Enemy units that have charged and are within 7 inches of this model in the fight phase do not fight first, so it prevents an attacking model fighting first. And then we also have new rules for sergeants on the Imperial Fist side of things. They get an extra attack in close combat. So the aggressors and the intercessors will now get, the sergeants will now get 3 attacks in close combat, and the standard guys in those units will get 2 attacks in close combat. And the reavers sergeants will now get 4 attacks in close combat. So it's all extra attacks, making them extra killing. Yes, let's talk about this mission a little, shall we? So the mission is burn the bomb, as I said in the intro, but the bomb is represented by a 50p piece. It's my objective marker for this mission. So in order to burn the bomb, an aggressor needs to move onto the objective marker or interface contact with the objective marker and remain there till the end of a battle round. Now, a battle round is both players' turns having been completed. So if the Death Guard go first, then by the end of the Imperial Fists' turn, that is the end of the battle round. If the Imperial Fists go first, by the end of the Death Guard's turn, that is the end of the battle round. So they need to remain there till the end of the battle round and another turn is about to start. So turn 1 going into turn 2, basically. Yeah, so the aggressors are key to this mission for the Space Marines. We need to make sure, as the Imperial Fist player, that they stay alive. And as the Death Guard player, we need to make sure that we take them out as soon as possible, because if you can wipe out the Death Guard, if you can wipe out the aggressors, there's no way for the Imperial Fists to complete their mission. So in the how to win section in this mission, for the Death Guard it says protect the bomb for 4 rounds or eliminate all enemy models. And in the Space Marines how to win section, it just says destroy the virus bomb within 4 rounds. It doesn't say you can win by eliminating all enemy models. So I'm assuming once the aggressors are taken out, that's the end of the mission. That's the way I'll work it. If it comes to that, that's what will happen. It seems a bit final, and it seems a bit odd that the other units can't take out the... Come on, have you cooled down? Ooh, looks like it. Sorry about that, my phone cut off recording because it was getting too warm. This sunny weather is a bit frustrating in the UK at times, especially when my phone is getting on a bit. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, it seems a bit odd and a bit final that it's only the aggressors that can take out the bomb. However, with the mission being called Burn the Bomb, you understand why, because they're the only ones with flamer weapons in the Imperial Fist side. So yeah, that's the way the Imperial Fists need to win the mission. Without further ado, put your comments in the comment section below to predict who will win this mission. Will it be the aggressors and the Imperial Fists, or will it be the Death Guard forces? As you can see, we've got 2 forces laid out in front of you guys. We've got the Imperial Fists over to the left of the battlefield there, and the Death Guard on the right hand edge of the battlefield. I'm going to take a closer look, starting with the Imperial Fist. So for the Imperial Fist forces this week, we have Lieutenant Gideon. We also have 3 aggressors and the 3 Reavers at the back there. And they will be facing off against the Death Guard forces of a Foul Blightspawn. That's a new miniature there. Give me a little spin for you so you get a nice close look at the effect I've done. It's all contrast paint, same as the rest of my Death Guard forces. And yeah, I've done a little bit of a liquid sort of sloshing about effect there on the back. And then there's 12 Poxwalkers as well that will be supporting him. The aim of this mission is to get to the virus bomb in the middle of the battlefield and destroy it from the Imperial Fists' point of view. They need to do that by getting one of their 3 aggressors onto that objective marker, the 50p piece in the centre, and then staying there for a full battle round till the end of the battle round. The battle round being both players' turns complete. If they can do that, then they will destroy that virus bomb that the objective marker represents. If they can't do that within 4 battle rounds, then that will be a victory for the Death Guard. So let's roll to see who's going to go first. I've got 2 dice here ready to rock and roll. Who gets to deploy first? It is going to be green dice for the Death Guard. It's a draw, so let's roll again and re-roll. That is a Death Guard deploy first, and then I'll come back once they've deployed and roll off to see who goes first. So you can see now both sides have deployed. First of all, the Death Guard deployed their Poxwalkers here. The idea is that's the quickest way for them to get to the virus bomb. What I'm going to try and do with the Poxwalkers is basically surround the virus bomb. Run them in the first turn. If I can get them there in the first turn, that's great. But if I can't get them there before the aggressors get there, then they can take on the aggressors in combat if necessary. The Foul Blightspawn deployed just next to them. He's got a little bit of cover here from the container. However, if the Imperial Fists get the first turn, they may be able to get to the Foul Blightspawn. And if it deployed over the other side on this deployment marker, then it was just going to be out in the open and a sitting duck for any Imperial Fist attacks. So that's why I deployed him behind the container there. And then the Reavers I deployed here because I want them to run up the battlefield and try and take out the Foul Blightspawn. And then Lieutenant Gideon here, he's got some options. He can run up the battlefield try and assault the Poxwalkers, or he can try and assault the Foul Blightspawn if that is required of him. So let's roll to see who gets the first turn, or who chooses who gets the first turn. It's a 5 for the Imperial Fists. As the Imperial Fist player, I would choose to take the first turn to try and get those aggressors to the centre there using an advance roll. I'll do that now, why not? So they've got a 5-inch movement, and let's roll to see if they can get onto that objective marker. 6, so that is an 11-inch move, and I don't think they're going to fail to reach that with that move there. Yeah, so they've got more than enough movement to get up to that objective marker. What I'll do is they can move right past it if they want to. So what I'll do is, yeah, so I'll move I'll move 2 of them past it, and I'll move 1 of them onto it there. And then the Poxwalkers will have to try and assault these guys, and the Foul Blightspawn will have to just find a way to try and shoot those guys off the objective marker. Otherwise, this is going to be an extremely short battle. Yeah, I'll come back after the rest of Imperial Fist movement. Slight change of plan, as you can probably tell by the fact that the Death Guard forces have moved. I've actually come back after the Death Guard movement phase. All of the Imperial Fist forces advanced up the battlefield. Gideon came from the centre there, around there. He got 10 inches of movement in total. These guys just got a 1-inch move roll on their advance roll. So they got 7 inches in total. The Death Guard forces, the Foul Blightspawn, just moved from here to over here. He's going to try and shoot the aggressors, and then probably assault them to soak up any damage that the aggressors do on Overwatch, so the Poxwalkers can reliably get into assault as well, depending on if he can take any wounds off them in the shooting phase. So we might as well now roll in the shooting phase. Let's work out what we're doing here. So first off, with the multi-wound weapon, you get to roll strength. So the strength is a 2d6 roll for the Foul Blightspawn. It's a strength 5 weapon this turn then. So strength 5, and it gets d6 hits. It's an auto hit weapon, so d6 hits is 5 hits. So 5 strength 5 hits on the aggressors there. Let's roll to see if they wound. Grab 3 more dice. So 5 hits. Strength 5, going to be wounded on 3s. That is, oh, some badness there. 2 fail to wound. That is 3 wounds total. So 3 wounds, as I said. What I'll do now is roll the saving throws of those 3 wounds. I'm going to roll them separately because each one does d3 damage, each hit does d3 damage, and it could potentially take out all 3 of the aggressors here. So I'll roll 1, and it's a save on a 6 up. So that is a failed save, so there's 1 dead aggressor. I'll take out this fella first. Oh no, sorry, that's not 1 dead aggressor yet. We need to roll a d3 damage. So we'll roll now. 1 or a 2 will still be alive. It's a 6, so that's 3 damage. So I'll take out this fella here. And then I will roll a saving throw again. It's a 6 he needs to save. That is a 5. So it's another failed save. It's d3 damage. That is a 2, so that is a living aggressor there with 1 wound. So I'll just grab a wound token to remind us of that. But he's got to take another save now against his last hit. And it's got to be a 6 to save. It's a 4, so he fails a save. It's d3 damage. He's going to be dead anyway. It's a 3 damage hit that time. That could have wiped out all of the aggressors there. But that wipes out 2 aggressors for the Death Guard, and now they can assault as well. So the question is, should I assault with the Poxwalkers first and try and soak up some wounds, or should I assault with the Foul Blightspawn? Yeah, the Foul Blightspawn's rules in the magazine say he has 1 wound. However, it is an error because I've checked the data sheet and it says he has 4 wounds in total. So I'll play as if he's got 4 wounds. And yeah, so he's not very likely to be taken out by these Overwatch shots from the aggressor. But the aggressor will get 2d6 hits in Overwatch. I'll roll for them now. That is, a mere 4 hits, but he could still take him out with those hits. So 4 hits in total, that will be wounding on 5s. He fails to take him out with any, he doesn't even wound him with any of the hits, that's a 2. So now it's the charge distance. It's a relatively long charge, especially for a slow army like the Death Guard, although I guess in charging it doesn't really make any difference. It's a 6-inch charge, no 5 inches, he can just make it to within 1 inch of him with a 5-inch charge roll, so let's see if he does that. Oh, he fails the charge anyway. So now it's up to the Poxwalkers to try and make a charge and hope that the aggressor, who will get to fire Overwatch again, hope that he doesn't completely flame them. So it's going to be 2d6 hits. Oh, it's only 3 hits from the aggressor. This is going to be interesting to see whether the aggressor manages to stay on the objective marker there. He's going to wound this time on 3s. That's 2 wounds. But of course, because of tactical precision, because the aggressor is within 6 inches of Lieutenant Gideon there, he'll get to re-roll that wound roll of 1. So let's see if he can do another wound. It's a 3 up he needs. He gets 3 5s there, so that's 3 wounds, meaning there's going to be 3 saves from the Death Guard player, discussed in a resilient roll, so it needs to be 5 or more. 1 saved and 2 failed there, so we'll just pick off 2 from the back here as the Death Guard player. And then we will make the roll to see. It's only going to be a 3-inch charge this time, so it's all they need is what the Foul Blightspawn rolled on the last time. They make that with ease. It's a 7-inch charge from them, so what I'll do is get them into combat and then we'll proceed from there. Now, before we proceed with the combat, there's a few things we need to do here. So there's a heroic intervention that can take place because Gideon's a character. He can get into a combat that's active with his units that he's close enough to get into with a 3-inch piling move. So he's going to join this combat. But also there's a thing to note that with the aggressor taking out 2 of the Poxwalkers prior to them completing the charge, the Poxwalkers now don't benefit from the Diseased Horde rule, which would have given them a +1 to their attacks rolls, which would have made their attacks a lot more deadly. I think 33% more deadly, if I remember rightly, or maybe not quite that high. But it would have made them more deadly anyway. But yeah, so they don't receive the benefit of that. So, as stated, Gideon is going to heroically intervene here, and he's going to move 3 inches, up to 3 inches, closer to the nearest enemy model, so he does so there. It won't make an awful lot of difference necessarily, because the Poxwalkers, all their attacks are going to go on the aggressor, of course, because the main aim of the game for them is to prevent the aggressors from destroying the bomb that he's stood on there, trying to incinerate it. So, I'll go to the the Poxwalkers' attacks now. And they get 2 attacks each. There's 10 of them left, so that's 20 attacks. I'll gather up 20 dice and come back when I'm ready to roll them. So 20 attacks now from the Poxwalkers and 20 dice in hand. They're going to be hitting on 5s. Ooh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits there. And they're going to wound on 5s as well because they have strength 3 attacks against a toughness of 4. Because the target's toughness is higher than their strength, they will only wound on 5s according to the to wound chart. So I'll come back once I've picked up the dice again to roll to wound. So 8 dice in hand. They need 5s to wound this aggressor. They need to do 2 wounds on him at least and hope that he fails both saves. Let's see how many they can do. 5 or more. 1. They've only managed to do 1 wound on the aggressor. And of course the aggressor does get to make a saving throw. So let's see if he makes that save. It doesn't make any difference now. He makes that save of a 3 up. But the aggressor manages to stay on the objective till the end of the battle round. I might as well just play out till the end of this round to fully see that he does manage to stay on there. So I'll come back with the aggressor's attacks now. So the aggressor gets 2 attacks in combat. He's hitting on threes. And he rolls 2 2s, so he's not going to be making any hits there. Now it's up to Lieutenant Gideon to see if he can slay any of those Poxwalkers. Gideon's going to be getting 4 attacks in total. So I'll pick up 4 dice, and he's going to be hitting on 2s in close combat. Oh, 2 1s rolled. Absolutely terrible rolling here. Not that it makes any difference, because after these wound rolls and removing any more Poxwalkers, the Imperial Fists will have achieved their objective. So let's roll to see if these wounds happen. It's going to be wounded on 3s. 2 wounds. 2 disgusting resilience for the Poxwalkers. 2 failed disgusting resilience there. So that'll be 2 dead Poxwalkers. And at the end of the battle round, meaning the aggressor has managed to stay there till the end of the battle round and achieve the Imperial Fists objective. So yet again, it's an Imperial Fists victory in this mission. So there you have it, guys, another Imperial Fist victory. It's getting easy this week after week. The Imperial Fists are doing it time and again. This mission may have benefited from the Death Guard going first, I feel like, because as soon as the Imperial Fist got the first turn and the aggressors got a 6-inch advance roll, add that to their 5-inch movement, they got onto the objective, and there was no way really the Imperial Fist, without a little bit more firepower, there was no way the Imperial Fist were going to get shifted off that objective, I felt like anyway. The Poxwalkers just aren't effective enough in close combat, and especially because the Foul Blightspawn failed his charge to get into combat as well, it just made it even more difficult. Each little thing that the Death Guard did wasn't enough. They took out 2 aggressors and it seemed like it was maybe going to be a Death Guard victory, but then when the Poxwalkers got into combat, they failed to do any damage really. They're not an effective active unit. What they're effective at is surviving and denying other armies' objectives. So had the Death Guard gone first and they got to the objective before the Imperial Fist forces cut off, they might have been a bit difficult to shift off of that objective, and the Imperial Fist would have had to act differently. In the first turn, the aggressors wouldn't have been able to just advance onto the objective. They would have probably moved and then shot and then charged the Poxwalkers, and then it would have been a bit more of a battle and would have been a bit more in balance. However, it didn't go that way and the Imperial Fists got the victory. But yeah, what is coming next week's mission? We are getting a mission called, it says tutorial replay mission 12 here, but I think it's 11. Wait a minute, have we had 2 mission 10s? Spread the blight. I just realised we've had 2 tutorial replay mission 10s. I remember seeing this when I was getting the magazines and when I was covering the magazines in my reviews. But yeah, this was actually tutorial replay mission 11, not 10. So the next tutorial replay mission is tutorial replay mission 12. And that is going to be called Seize the Ammunition. And it will contain 5 Plague Marines for the Death Guard forces, as well as 12 Poxwalkers. We'll see if they can do any better in the next mission. And Lieutenant Gideon, 3 Intercessors, and 3 Reavers for the Imperial Fists. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the battle changes next week, and will the Death Guard be able to regain some ground on this Imperial Fist strike cruiser that they're trying to overrun and infect with the Nurgle disease. Before you go, don't forget to give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Any questions you've got, you can ask in the comments below. There's a button here for you to subscribe if you've not already done so, and a Patreon link here if you'd like to support the channel. There's also a couple of videos here for you to check out at your leisure. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.